Hello, hello. Hey, hey, EM. Hi, beauty. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Of course, I do hope that you get good rest still, but I am so honored that you're here, sweetheart. All right, let's get into this, shall we? This is a today's topic video. It is for the 28th, and we have got the Ace of Pentacles. All right, that's a great way to start. This is new, fresh energy. There could be something really lovely that occurs today, just a sense of general well being, opportunities, a chance to, fix something, change something, alter something. Just knowing that we have the opportunities to make improvements in our life, that alone is a really nice energy. We have the World card, and I'm sorry I cover it because we've got a very robust fertility goddess here, and so there could be somebody who's getting a brand new beginning in, by the way, they could be a Capricorn, but it could be that someone who has a very voluptuous bod, somebody who's looking good, um, feels like their life story is not written yet, and none of our life story is already written because we get to change the dynamics anytime we want. We can always start new, start fresh. This feels though like we do have a blue butterfly flying around her, which says this is maybe a rare opportunity to transform so much so swiftly. Let's take another look at this. I'm going to say that it's a feminine just because of that goddess Gaia energy going on there. We have the Magician. It is definitely a rare opportunity. And I say rare because that of the blue butterfly, she manifested this. This is all her doing. By the way, we do have Capricorn or like Virgo or Gemini coming in now as well. And there's a doorway that has a snake pattern to it. And so we do have to pay attention to the fact that Year of the Snake is very timely. This is right now. This is happening in real time for this character. Something that they have manifested, some brand new beginning. Now, maybe this is a Capricorn feminine who has wanted to have a do-over with a masculine Virgo or Gemini. That it could be that simple. I wasn't thinking of it necessarily like love, though, especially not right now, because we don't really have love at all. We have more grounded energy, we have dreamscape energy, and then we have this, endings with new beginnings. We have the Girl of Discs, so that would be the Page of Pentacles. We do have the elephant trunk touching the crown of her head, so we do have something about memories here. This is intricate. This is somebody who remembers every little detail, and they want to talk about those little details. And we have this hand coming in to offer something. So there may be a gift that she's receiving, and she's wanted this, and she has called this in. This could be a long lost friend who she's, recently been thinking a lot about, being like, I really miss the good old days back when we used to, I remember all these fun details when I had this friend in my life. Or, yeah, it could be a lover. Again, we don't have a whole lot of passion or emotion just yet. What we have is an active mind full of memories, and those memories have been remanifested. We're going to have a blast from the past come back in, but that doesn't have to mean it's a person from the past per se. It could be, I remember when I lived in this one area, I remember how much I liked doing X, Y, or Z once upon a time. It could be an activity. With the Boy of Swords, which would be like the Knight of Swords here sideways, it's weird though, because it's not necessarily getting off to a breakneck pace. This is a day where everything feels like it starts over. Everything feels possible. Everything, all kinds of good stuff could show. All right. Hey, guys. I hope that just fixed the little frozen second that we had there. I think we're back. Okay, good. This looks like, man, it was working so good tonight up until just now. I just feel like there's this energy of something coming back around, but the knowledge that we get a second chance on everything, still doesn't mean that we're off like running. This is still going to take just a little bit of time to restart something. So let's say, for example, a character says, you know what I really miss? I miss working in some other industry. I felt like that was that's what I want to do again. I want to revert to my old department that I used to work in. Okay, I can do that. I've talked to my boss about that. Maybe there's a little bit of extra training that I'll need to, go back into that department again because a few things have been updated. But that's it. My wishes are going to be granted. The dialogue is happening. Here I go. Let's get started. If this is about a partner, you know what? I want a new beginning with someone. I've manifested it. And now guess what? I'm hearing from them. They want this with me also. The dialogue has begun. The conversation has begun. This could be a day, if this is about a lover, she could be thinking about someone, and then it's like the message, the phone rings, she hears from them, and it could be very surreal. If this is about a romantic partner who suddenly reaches out, if this is something where it's like, ooh, this is crazy, I'm like connected to their mind and they're connected to mine. I really truly wanted to manifest them in, and then poof, here they are calling me. Now, this, if that is the case, I would just say one thing: be careful what we wish for. Is she calling in the right person for the right reason? She wants a new beginning, and this is her story, right? This comes across like we have this opportunity where maybe she also is thinking about something at the right time, at the right moment, and she's like, I feel like I want to do X, Y, or Z. And it turns out if she had called 3 minutes earlier or 3 minutes later, she would have missed this opportunity. But it's like, wow, I was sure in the right place at the right time for this. I've wanted to manifest it for a while. I've wanted to get this going in my life. I just can't believe the opportunity is now mine. It does feel a little crazily serendipitous, like something our feminine has wanted. She literally is tapped into the flow of the universe with when she can have it, when she should take some kind of action, and when it's coming in to her world. Death card. Okay, so there is a big transformation. I'm still trying to figure out what this is, though. If she's going to be flowing better than she ever has with her manifestation energy, if this is the thing that's new, like maybe this is her newfound talent, then again, definitely be careful what you wish for, because she might be a master manifester at this moment in time, which means you can manifest negative or positive into your life if when you're, vibing like that. Wow, we have a Two of Cups. This feels almost sci-fi-esque, where she's wanted something, and right now her energy is so perfectly attuned and so pure that she is literally able to like envision this new timeline shift, this opportunity with, obviously it's a Two of Cups relationship. So she might have been tapped into their frequency, and that's how she knew it was the right time. So it's less about her saying, I want this, universe, bring me this, and more about, something feels different. I feel like the thing I've been manifesting, this is the right time for it. And it may be because she's like telepathically connected to this other individual, and they too are in the same space. We saw all these intricate thoughts and memories. I really feel like she's going to hear from a very important person today that she has wanted to hear from for a long time. Now, could we be talking about a romantic partner? For sure. With that Two of Cups, most likely. Strength card. The strength of their bond is massive on the 28th. The strength of her connection to this person is huge. Now, maybe this is all a telepathic energy. Maybe she feels like she gets a message from them, or they're flooding her mind. You notice again, the elephant is touching the crown of this girl's head. So it could be that literally we're talking about a telepathic connection. Sorry, my hair is making my whole face itch. Five of Cups. There is this profound strength that she had to overcome any kind of grief or sorrow, which would have been blocking the ability to like send and receive those telepathic communications at one point in time. And maybe that's the thing that's lifted. See, I'm trying to pin down. It's almost like the energetic phone lines have been reopened between herself and this person. And that's what's new. It may not actually be, that she's actively chit-chatting with this person on the phone. It may be that she's suddenly like, whoa, I feel lighter, I feel brighter. And there's this crazy thing. I feel like I'm in direct connection to that Two of Cups all over again. I don't feel a sense of sorrow or heartbreak anymore either. This feels like a really strong, like I feel their vibe. Okay, so hang on. If this is all in the vibrational realm, what is it that you are picking up from them? And I feel like I don't want to just say what is it that she's picking up from them, but let's kind of go with more like from the higher perspective of the universe and say, universe, what is she picking up from them? If anything, maybe she's tripping, maybe she's wrong. Maybe just because she'll be flooded thinking about them, it will not be coming from them directly. Maybe it'll be within her. We do have the Strength card, strong Leo energy. So she may be picking up on vibes of her own personal power first and foremost, and her own ability to feel empowered and to feel stronger and feel whole right now. Okay, that doesn't say it's coming from them at all. The Sun in the reverse. Wow, Leo energy. I said, what is it that she's picking up from them if she has a strong telepathic connection, if that's what's shifted and changed? I think the universe is saying it's not that. It's not coming from them. It's that she's strong enough to either like fully embrace the fact that, look, I don't know everything that's going on, but I know me. I know how my heart feels. So what does that mean, universe? Because is this her just acknowledging that she really loved this person? We have Five of Wands sideways. It's more like the acknowledgement that a storyline may not be done and over, and she doesn't know how it's going to go, but there's certainly like an alleviation of hurt and pain, and that alone makes it possible for there to be like new opportunities within a connection that maybe weren't there before. You know what I think this is? I think she's the one who's changed. The death card is hers. The new beginning is hers. That earth energy. She's gotten over the hurt and pain of something, and maybe that's really what she was manifesting is, I don't want to feel sad about this anymore. I don't want to feel hurt over this anymore. And that's what she's changed. But it's interesting because it does look like she's looking back at the past and saying, I can connect to them now. I'm not sad anymore. I've overcome the sorrow. But maybe this is more about the retrospect. Maybe she's saying, I realize we had a bond. I realize it was real. Even if there was grief surrounding it also, I'm able to go back in time and I can say, I know that they did love me. They did. For what it's worth, no matter what else happened between us, I actually can say with complete confidence, I know that person loved me. I have no idea what else comes of this, but knowing that, I feel fresh and reborn. Maybe she couldn't accept that for a period of time. Maybe that was the thing she was struggling with, and that's the heroic, like feeling brand new again, feeling healed again, feeling better, is because she's realizing a simple truth, which is that was my Two of Cups. That is somebody that I loved them and they loved me. It still could have gone to hell in a handbasket, because sometimes even with relationships and people that we really love, it still doesn't work out. But the universe says, yeah, she's not really picking up on energy from them or communication from them at all. This is all her. She's the one who feels whole and happy. She's also contented knowing, I have no idea what happens next. I only know that I healed from this, and I can accept the fact that they did love me. That could be so much, oh my God, such a weight off of her shoulders, so much stress that is no longer there. That seems really, really nice and lighthearted. We have a Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is the energy of love and connection and communication. She may have a really, really great day on the 28th. She may spend more time with other relationships in her life that she cares about. She may be very present. She may feel like sharing these good vibes that she's feeling with other connections in her life. This kind of feels like an epiphany day for this feminine to realize that love exists because we felt it, we knew it was real, it's in our head and it's in our heart, and that maybe is where it remains. Who knows if we're going to get a chance to like live out this big huge love story where we're day to day together with a particular person, but there are other relationships that count, also other relationships in our life that, those are the people that are around us. Maybe we should spend more time with them for the moment. So she may make a point of going out with friends. Please bear in mind, she doesn't have to be a she at all. Could be a masculine or a feminine. She's getting all of her mojo back, though, with that Ace of Wands upright. She's feeling so much more empowered on the 28th, so much more in love with her life, so much better connected to the people in her world. So, universe, can I see one thing about her and that Two of Cups? Is there some future connection there, or is it just that she's finally in this really good space, headspace and heart space in regards to what had already happened between him and her? We have a Six of Swords. It says she has really moved on from hurt and pain. This is, again, it's her story. She's moved on from hurt and pain regarding that in the past, and she's looking at her future with the Seven of Cups. She's got a whole new vision of life. She's got a whole new vision of love. Does she ever have anything else to do with that Two of Cups then? High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles. Only because this is her story. I don't know that I think she says, oh, I know I'll talk to them again sometime in the future. I think this says they were an important part of my life that got me to the person that I am right now, which is a full-blown Queen of Pentacles. And so therefore, they served a huge purpose in my life. They loved me. I loved them. And had I not met them, maybe I wouldn't have become this version of myself today. So in many respects, the energy that we already shared will always exist, because I'll always be able to feel that memory of them, or the way our connection was, because it was a beautiful connection. But will she ever have anything more to do with them? The High Priestess picks up on the secrets that exist, but she's living a very tangible life right now. I don't know. It almost keeps feeling like the love that she feels for them exists on some plane, but I don't know that she's even saying that I'll ever see them again in this lifetime, but they live in that other plane of existence where I'll never not have loved them. That'll always be there. And I can reach into that timeline and remember the love that I had with them at any point in time. But this is the timeline that I'm living. My real life right now is much more, tangible and happy. I don't know that she has anything more to do with them after all. This is her. I did not realize that's what the storyline was going to be. The 28th is the day that she's free of some Two of Cups sorrow, because she has the epiphany that they did love me and I did love them, but my life goes on. This really, I don't know where they are. Can we ask that real quickly? Where is that Two of Cups? Because this, I know I keep saying it's her story, but I'm just wondering, are they someone who, is far, far away from her, or are they somebody who is just feeling the exact same way about her? We have the Chariot. They are moving on in their own life, in their own right. They are moving forward into some other thing that they must do. Knight of Swords. Their life is picking up pace. This really could be Page of Cups, though. Hang on. That's normally an apology, and this is... Okay. Hold up. Here's the irony of these stories. How just when a character least needs to hear from somebody, just when they've completely let something go and they're so whole and they're so comfortable, and it's not about anyone other than their own life now, that's when the other person tends to be like, oh, cool. I know you don't need to hear from me. I know it's been a long ass time. And I know back when you were probably crying and devastated and weeping and feeling isolated and feeling like there was not a soul around you. I know that's when you most needed me, but I wasn't there for you then. And now that you're okay, now that you don't need me, that's when I'm going to come on in. This is crazy because now I have to eat my words. At first it was like, okay, so does she have a strong telepathic connection? No, it's her own thoughts. It's her own, like letting them go. No, she's not going to hear from them again. And then I do the stupid thing and don't leave the story there. Instead, I always got to ask, so where are they? Just because I was kind of curious. Part of me thought maybe they were across the rainbow bridge. Maybe this was a love story between two people where, one partner had passed on and she was at peace with it now and was going to continue to live her best life. But no. They are very much on this side of the rainbow bridge and they are headed her direction with communication, which started to make me wonder, like, wait a second, why all the newsprint? They've been moving slow. I thought they were moving on in their life. They're not. They're picking up pace on what they want to say to her, which is they have an apology to give to her. She is the Queen of Pentacles. So they have some message that's coming in, which is crazy because if ever there were a day where she didn't need it, but would also be most receptive to it, if it were to come in, it is the 28th. So crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see. 10 of Pentacles. So a lot of time has passed, right? Look at how long that beard is. So we'll say he possibly has turned quite gray. He may look quite a bit different than he used to. He may have aged pretty significantly. And he's got like a full-on, in this case, a full-on offer to make to her of sorts, right? At 10 of Pentacles, he's made his fortune. Maybe his family is grown and everybody's doing well. Maybe his, we don't really know what the context was per se between these two once upon a time, but he definitely has a whole family legacy. I don't know if he had a bunch of other people to attend to, and that's what he's been busy doing all this time instead of being there for the Queen of Pentacles. But she definitely had a lot of, with that Five of Cups, she had a lot of hurt for a long time, and she finally is over it. And this is her day of freedom from it. And it's like so uncanny that the day she's sashaying around feeling like totally fine about everything and completely done is the day that he has an offer to make. Universe, do you have any final message on this? And there's that High Priestess. Remember when we saw the High Priestess for her, I was like, okay, so, and that came out when I said, so is she ever going to hear from them again? And it was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. That love does exist on some other plane at all times. If we ever felt it, then it still lives in our memory. It still lives in our heart. If she knows that they felt it for her too, despite whatever the circumstances were, then that love still exists. But no, it didn't look like she was ever going to see or hear from them again. And that was her perception. The universe says, remember though, the High Priestess is able to deal in the murky world, in the mysterious. And it's just so crazy because I was asking where he was and I was like, oh, he's moving on. Except no, he's doing, maybe he thought he was going to move on. Maybe her letting him go is the reason he's like, I can't let her go. I must be out of my damn mind. I got to come back and talk to her. It's so weird because it's like there's a secret in a secret. She's telling herself it's over. It's really done. I'm really free. And I don't think I'll ever hear from them again, but I know that there was love. And then it's like there's a secret wrapped within that secret, which is maybe she did always know someday when she didn't need them at all is the day they'd show up. I don't know why that would be. Can I just get one card on that? Why, universe, would it go that way? Like, why didn't they show up when she was in that Five of Cups? Because I got to ask. King of Wands. Why they didn't show up earlier? Why now when she doesn't need anything from them? Even though, I mean, she still loves them, right? We saw that. And these two might have a great time together at this point, but why they didn't show up before when she most needed them? This is an interesting card because although it's a king, we see a feminine on it. And I would have to say this, maybe she needed to like almost take charge and love herself more instead of feel a bunch of sorrow over them. Like she shouldn't have to sit there and feel this kind of sorrow, right? Nobody should have to be that devastated because their Two of Cups person is apparently not present in their world. And maybe that's just it. Maybe the reason they didn't come into her world is, energetically speaking, she had this one thing that she had to do for herself, which was to get really grounded, really solid in herself so that her happiness wasn't necessarily too overly connected to whether or not they were there in her world or not. Let me get one card just specifically. Did universe help me understand? Did they intentionally not come back into her life? We have the Star. They were busy doing some kind of healing too. They had some distant goal to meet, or they had some healing. It's so I don't love it. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't love it because I feel like this, although I get it, the universe is like, oh well, they both had some stuff to do. They both have done something that they needed to. And I feel like we just had this total inverted story over on Tarot Dog earlier tonight. Um, but the thing is, like, this just annoys me, to be honest, because do characters really have to like meet, go through hurt and pain to then learn the lessons, or be ushered apart into different categories for a while before the universe is like, okay, now they can come back together? It almost seems kind of stupid. I'm so sorry. It just seems kind of stupid. I know life is a big journey of learning lessons and such, but is that really the only way to learn those kind of lessons of, like, I don't know, this just feels kind of mean. It feels kind of mean to me. And I have a hard time thinking that that's the best interpretation of this, because I don't ever think of the universe as being mean. And I kind of think, why have to go through that much hurt and pain to learn how not to go through hurt and pain? Wouldn't it have been better to, I don't know, it just feels like a weird punishment thing to learn a lesson. But maybe I'm looking at that all wrong. I don't know why I feel like something's off with that. Maybe just because I don't get it. I don't like it. We have a Knight of Wands. So there is scattered energy. I can understand that getting solid convictions in life and really learning through life experience makes us less prone to be, all over the place. When someone stands in their power, it's when they know who they are. So maybe this was more, maybe I can get behind that interpretation a lot better. Both characters had to learn who they were as completely separate individuals. Otherwise, they would have always been super scattered. And like losing your own identity because you never developed it in the first place, that would be a crummy relationship to be in, and one that's going to be this powerful. They're going to play off of each other so heavily. Maybe for them to actually be successful, they had to first have their own very solid identities. What I'm picturing right now is like two halves of like a drawbridge, or one of the bridges that lifts up so ships can go through. And it's like, okay, listen, we see that the bridge works together and then cars can drive it across it, but both sides also have to have the whatever hydraulic mechanisms so that when they need to separate and open up, they each have to be able to do that. If one side of the bridge is like, no, don't go, that's not going to work, right? So they can be terrific together, but they also have another function, and they have to be able to separate and move independently of each other. Anyway, that's the image in my head. Now that makes way more sense to me, and now it's not, because I was like, that's kind of a sucky message. Sorry, but you got to go sit and cry and be really sad and have nobody beside you, so you learn self-resilience. And I'm like, that's kind of an asshole way to say it. But the image of the drawbridge, or the bridge for the ships, and the difference between the independent motion versus what they can also accomplish together, that makes way more sense. And if they were either uncertain or they were too scattered, they wouldn't function as well in either capacity, not together as the bridge that's intact and not separately as, the hydraulic movement. So I guess that, to me, that makes a lot more sense. I'm sorry, sometimes I can't let go of a storyline until I can wrap my head around it, because I'm like, something's wrong or incomplete, or it just like, I don't know. Lots of stories I have I don't like, but this one was really like I couldn't let it go. Oh my God. If I were writing it with a pen, I would have thought that's a dumb story, Kate. You need to come up with some better perspective on that. So I guess I do the same thing even when it's improv like this and it's random. I have to keep going till some other thought comes into my head that can summarize. All right, now let's go ahead and pull a card for someone whose birthday would be on the 28th. Here we go. So we have got a King of Pentacles. There could be some wonderful travel headed into this next year for a character. There could also be a sense of like international, either business or international sense of stability. This is decidedly very British to me. So we could have somebody in the UK. This could be an individual who will wind up, in possibly a very solid connection with someone. This could still be more about business, but with the Strength card being here, and then we have the Four of Cups. Also, somebody could have either like a red eye from crying, or they have an eye that has better vision than the other side, or they could have seen something wrong, and that could all get worked out. This could be a year for stability, for continuity, for strengthening bonds, for strengthening relationships. And if there are any regrets, it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't see that before. It really feels like we have a divine masculine who would be really wanting to connect, really wanting to make, again, to build bridges instead of, deconstruct things. And if that perspective is shared, that will really strengthen a bond. But there's a lot of grace given in personal relationships this year, and giving grace to one another, and understanding, sometimes we all make mistakes, sometimes we get it wrong, but then if there is sincerity and there is, a better approach, that could strengthen the bond. A mistake could actually turn out to strengthen a bond, so long as there's a sincerity and an acknowledgement of the error. And it just kind of feels like personal relationships are going to get better and better throughout the year. But one particular, this could be with a romantic person, this could be with a boss, but it just kind of feels like there's a duo working very, very seamlessly this year. But it is because they give each other grace. They understand that they'll both make mistakes sometimes, or they won't see things the way they should, or they'll have that, monocular vision where they can only see things through their own lens. And then it's like, oh God, I feel so stupid. I was so only looking at it from my perspective. And I guess, let me say it this way, particularly maybe true in, let's say, even if this is a romantic relationship, let's say in business, for the example, it's really easy to be like, oh man, the boss is not doing this good enough. They're not giving enough raises. They're not this or that. But then on the opposite side of it, it's like sometimes bosses' hands are tied with how many raises they can give based off of the growth of the company and the consumers that are purchasing the products. And it's like, there is always like, you've got to see it from all sides. And then there's got to be some kind of, understanding, are they supportive in other ways? Are they trying their best? Are they, explaining the situation in a way that makes sense? Is it, both characters have to come to the table perhaps and find that meeting of the minds and negotiate things and kind of in this case, even the romance would require some of the negotiations so that both people stay on track with each other, but also there is a lot of giving each other grace. But it strengthens bonds. That's really awesome. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you, everybody. I am so honored so many of you are with me so late tonight. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I so appreciate you. Nikki O, hey, hey. Tammy Johnson, hey, beauty. Thanks for being here. Miss So, the Peaceful Observer, awesome to see you again tonight. Astrodnoid, hi. Hi, MK. Oh my God. EM, I wish you a wonderful meeting. I hope that it goes really, really smooth. I'm sorry that I kept you up so late. Hi, Derek. Blue Knight, hi, hi. Great to see you again tonight. April Fresh, thank you so much. Slay Princess. Thanks again, Nikki. Apple Holo. That's awesome. 55 diddly, they have to be calibrated. Yes, well said. Stargazer Shell, wonderful to see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your awesome energy. Dragon Fortnite's in the house. Hi, honey. Hunter Ellis, wonderful to see you. Annie S. Black Butterfly 25, great to catch you. Hi, Brenda. Misty Medley, excuse me, Misty Medley. Let me get it right. Travis Rhodes, hey, hey. Hi, Regina Davis. Wonderful to see you again tonight. Hi, I. Thanks for being here. Love your name. I know it is really late. All right, you guys. Know Thyself Oracles with Linda J. Wonderful to see you. I almost missed you there, love. All right, you guys. I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Members Day because we do that every Monday, but we're doing something extra this Monday. So I will see you guys in the Members Corner. Those of you, if your name is green, you're a member. And there were a bunch of memberships that were gifted last Monday. So some people still don't know that they're members unless they noticed that during one of those lives. So if your name is in green, just know you are a member. And tomorrow I will see you guys in the Members Corners on one or the other channel, or both if you're a member of both. But we're going to do just a little extra card pull sesh, a little like after party for members. So I will see you guys in the morning. All right, everybody. All right, guys, take care. Sweet dreams. Bye. Bruce Reed, hi. And Derek, yes, I can see you, hun. Maybe I don't see all of them. I know once in a while that'll happen to somebody where I see some of yours and I don't see others. I saw you say hello. I see you said please. I'm not sure why. Something about something is important. And then I saw hello. Those are the ones I can see. Pam Jam, sweet dreams, honey. Thank you for being here. Oh, Astrodnoid. So for this channel, Kate's Regretless Life, I'll be live at 9 a.m. And for Tarot Dog, I'll be live at 8 a.m. So it'll be a little bit earlier, okay? All right, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. Yes, Pacific time.